The construction of a new Mississippi River bridge linking Missouri and Illinois has also unearthed new information on an ancient civilization in what is now East St. Louis, Illinois.
The same places we like to live today are really the same places ancient Native Americans or really any civilization. Generally, people are people and they live there for the same reason. So Cahokia Mounds, which is a state park and preserved, but not too far away, and this is really an extension of that, is a big prehistoric city, and many archaeologists liken that to just really a prehistoric St. Louis. In other words, St. Louis developed where it did, as many people know, is the famed gateway to the west. In more precise terms, it's there because of the intersection of major rivers, the Illinois, the Missouri, and the Mississippi River, but also highways, 55, 70, 64. Our highways today really just retrace early wagon roads, which really retrace ancient Native American footpaths. So right here, where all of these things coalesce, for the same reason St. Louis developed, Cahokia Mounds and its extension in East St. Louis developed. So there are actually many cities in the United States that are built on top of prehistoric cities.
In 2008, archaeologists began the formal process of investigating the East St. Louis site.
We're part of something called the Prairie Research Institute at the University of Illinois. We're the Illinois State Archaeological Survey. We do this work for IDOT. We're not actually contractors for IDOT. We are an intergovernmental program set up between the University of Illinois and IDOT to do all their archaeological clearance. This is really something that's required by law, and it's a formal process that we go through.
While archaeologists knew about early accounts of things being discovered here when the stockyards were being built and East St. Louis was developing, that was, decades ago, 1800s. So we never really knew for sure until this project came along. And so why precisely we're here is because of the National Historic Preservation Act of 1966.
This law was passed in 1966 that requires federal agencies to make sure that there are no significant archaeological sites that'll be destroyed or damaged by a project. In this case, it would be the Federal Highway Administration.
And therefore, IDOT, the Illinois Department of Transportation, doing the work for this new Mississippi River Bridge construction and the relocation of I-70 to get to the bridge is happening. All these excavations are happening because that highway project will have an adverse impact on this significant archaeological site. So while we didn't know for sure that it was here, we conduct archaeological excavations, investigations under 3 phases. A phase 1 survey to try to locate if there's anything there. Well, that was very difficult because East St. Louis is like a post-industrial landscape with all of this abandoned factories and the old stockyards.
Phase 2 of the investigation involved test excavations which verified that there were parts of the settlement that survived previous development.
And to find that those buildings can be demolished and we can peel up the concrete and still find archaeological deposits underneath is a very significant aspect of our work. It's showing that just because a site's in the floodplain or just because a site's been damaged by construction doesn't mean it's been totally destroyed, and that there may still be significant amounts of information that you can get from digging below the areas that were disturbed more recently. And what we've been doing over the last 4 years is just moving from area to area as it becomes available to us. Either IDOT's acquired the land or they've negotiated some sort of access to it. We have found continuous prehistoric occupation for over 6/10 of a mile, which is really phenomenal to have continuous archaeological deposits. That means that the people that were living here at about 1000 AD had a very, very extensive settlement.
While the exact geographical size of the area is not known, we do have some idea of what it would have looked like.
This was really an urban area. There were just hundreds of people living here, if not thousands. There would have been hundreds and hundreds of houses made of wooden poles and either cattail mats or split reed mats or bundles of prairie grass. There would have been lots of smoke from cooking fires, and there probably was a docking area where large dugout canoes were anchored. There would have been dogs running around barking. Dogs were the only domesticated animal that they had. So the mounds that were built here in East St. Louis, as well as at Cahokia Mounds, were all built by human hands, just with digging sticks, flint hoe blades, and baskets. But it really shows how sophisticated their social organization was to get all those people to work collectively to build such massive monuments.
One of the main reasons why this site's important is that it'll give us an unprecedented look at a big slice of a Mississippian city. We don't have anything like this anywhere else in the Southeast or the Midwest, where we've got such a large number of dwellings and other buildings that we've excavated. It provides a really enormous data set about a civilization that at other sites only small areas have been excavated, little patches here and there. Having such a large area where we can actually identify community plans is really going to be something that I think will actually redefine what we know about early Mississippian.
The dig at the site is set to wrap up by the end of 2012. The goal for the archaeologists is that the site be preserved like the nearby Cahokia Mounds. The future of the site remains uncertain.